what were the key factors for success, back in the day with just minimal tools and minimal products?
Well, I was sort of going through a bit of a transition. I had, I was 38 years of age. I'd kind of made the decision that I was going to retire because I'd achieved kind of what I wanted to achieve. And I just got bored. And I actually met Craig. He was actually a competitor in my previous company, and I kind of made a decision to come back into network marketing, but I wanted something even more special than what I'd had before. And I developed a friendship with Craig during this time. As I was leaving, Craig was kind of one of the star leaders in that company, and we just stayed in communication. And I remember travelling to the US many times, looking at opportunities and operations and what might be the next big thing. And Craig would contact me every month, and the day before I went to Jeunesse, I had a phone call with Craig. I was in a little town called Sedona in Arizona. I got a call from Craig, and we started chatting, and the very next day I was down in Orlando meeting Wendy and Randy. In fact, Randy picked me up from my hotel, and we went out to dinner, and he introduced me to Dr. Jim Papa, and the following day I met Scott, and I started to see that this company had a little bit of X factor, and it had some very curious and interesting products. The stem cell story, resveratrol with reserve. And so I decided that I think this company might actually work in Australia. But when we started in Australia, we had absolutely nothing. This was like building a business that existed in another country but zero resources here. So, Craig, why don't you tell everyone what we had to do to get started in that first year?
I guess when you see an opportunity, for me, it was, I saw the stem cell technology. I was coming off the back of a global financial crisis at the time, the 2008 to 2010, and I thought, hey, the fitness industry was a struggling industry during that time, and I said, what's going to be the next big thing? So a high growth trend, and the buzzword of stem cell technology was what captured my imagination. I'd never used skincare before other than probably sunscreen, and I thought, but I don't have to look at what I want to look at what everyone else wants. So when Lyndon said stem cell technology, that really piqued my interest. It was a buzzword. But yeah, as Lyndon mentioned, the first 6 months before we got great corporate management, we were paying the product in US dollar. The product was taking 3 weeks to get to customers. It had to clear customs. So a lot of our customers were not even getting their product at the time. We were getting paid on a really weird system at the time, so it wasn't going into our bank account. It was, the website I described to people was too embarrassing to show people. So we really told the story of what was possible. We just shared vision to as many people as possible. And this industry is really built on, just sharing stories. And that's really what we did.
And there's a great lesson to learn, because what was our disadvantage, we made our advantage. You can imagine enrolling someone today and telling them that, well, you have to pay by credit card, but you'll be charged in a different currency. It'll be shipped to you via Amsterdam. That's a little bit of a tricky sell, but you kind of ignored what was challenging and just gave people this incredible vision of just how special these products were that this company had, and this company had such a huge future. We had no general managers. We had no one here. We were the own leadership. Jeunesse just supported us with providing a small budget to be able to have some meetings in the major capital cities. And so, Craig and I, every month we'd be in Brisbane. Every month we were in Sydney, sometimes twice a month. Every month we're doing meetings in Melbourne over and over. And the way that we built a great international business was understood the potential of the business right now and the future, and building something successfully here locally was automatically going to take our business overseas in a bigger way than we even realised back then, in 2012.
And I love some of the points there, guys. Back in the early days, it just shows that your story is so critical. They were able to, operate with product coming from Amsterdam like that. I can't fathom that, but they ran with their story and were able to, build and continue to build a very successful business.